I thought I'd do a brief review of my HTC One X. I've had it for about a week now. I've never had a HTC phone before. The phone I had previously to this was a Samsung Galaxy S2, which I loved to bits, and I've still got it, and I'm still kind of a bit attached to it. So I'm trying to adapt to the way of the HTC and its sense and all its quirky weirdness. And there's plenty of reviews for this phone on internet, on YouTube and whatnot. I'm going to start my review by sort of saying what I don't like, or what I'm struggling with a little bit. Now, a couple of key things, really. Number one being the keyboard, the HTC keyboard. I don't really like it, if I'm perfectly honest. There's the default HTC Sense keyboard. Looks quite nice and easy to type on. It's got those cursor keys at the bottom. But for some reason I'm always catching, it must be that little icon there. And it drops down quite a lot. So I replaced it with the sort of standard ice cream sandwich keyboard. And I think that's a big problem that I'm coming across with this. It's more so the ice cream sandwich update. Because it was kind of designed with the Galaxy Nexus in mind. You've got these three dot buttons everywhere. Dot, dot, dot. At the top right, at the bottom left. It's designed not to have any sort of soft keys at the bottom really. And I find that a little bit awkward. I'm always catching, I'm struggling to use the buttons that and I am biased towards the Galaxy having its menu button, things like that. And I also find the shape of it, yeah, it's quite big, and I'm not averse to a big phone, but it feels, because it's so thin, it just feels easy to drop. I'm petrified of dropping the bloody thing. If it was a bit thicker, I don't know why they have to think razor thin, must be thin as possible. I'd be quite happy if it wasn't that thin, if it was a bit thicker. Which leads me on to the next gripe, which is the battery life isn't amazing. Now it's running this firmware 1.26, and I've read a lot of this 1.27 is going to more than double the battery life. Now that would be quite amazing if that was the case. And my other gripe with it is obviously when you're recording a video with it and any messages come through, or notifications, calendars, anything like that, it just knocks the sync. It knocks the audio and the video sync miles out. So I think the stock keyboard, the fact that ice cream sandwich and the menu buttons are all over the place, the fact that it's so thin and awkward to hold, and the other thing that I just mentioned again, which I've just forgotten completely already, are the only things, or the main things that gripe me about it. I did use the navigation on it. I use the Google navigation quite a lot. And I used that today to take me somewhere across country. It loads fast, it's pretty good. I've just put Morecambe in as a direction there. It tends to get a lock pretty quickly and revert to the 3D view with the full tracking, etc. For some crazy reason, compared to the Galaxy, it's a lot harder to see. The screen seems a lot more reflective and you have to have it on full brightness. And for some reason, when I was driving today, the screen kept dimming. So I was quitting out of it and finding the brightness and putting it on full, thinking like, oh, that's better, it looks great now. Coming out of the app, and then I'll be driving along and it'd fade again. So I'll be like, what's up with it? Anyway, it took me a little while to twig. If you're using it and there's no actual command or instruction, you know, there's no turn left, if you're on a road for 10 miles, 20 miles, 40 miles, it just kind of dims to say you don't really need to look at this right now. But next time an audio command comes out and it's like, take the next turning on the left, it brightens up again. So after I'd realised that, it wasn't so much of a problem. But I got around that little problem. Let me just quit the guidance. What I did, that little widget at the top there was a standard ice cream sandwich one, and the second thing, the first thing is brightness. So I removed the widget, the ice cream sandwich widget, and put this HTC widget on. Now this brightness, dink, when I put it on 3, full up, it stayed on the top brightness. It didn't actually keep adjusting. So I kind of solved that one on the way back. But the navigation, the voice, the audio, with the Beats audio, doesn't even seem as loud as the Galaxy S2. So the feeling of the Galaxy S2 is slightly thicker, yet probably a bit lighter feel than this. Yeah, screen's not quite as big, but it's still a massive screen. The sat-nav, I use it all the time, and it doesn't do the dimming thing, although I think I've got over that now. So all in all, it's a love-hate relationship. I mean, I've had this on charge. It's been in the car with the jack, with the thing plugged in, so it's been on power all day. I have now been home for about an hour. And the battery, I've got a little widget in the middle there, is now 49%. That just doesn't make sense. It's been charging all day in the car. But like sometimes, like if I haven't had it on charge and I take it off in the morning at about 8 o'clock, it seems to sort of, it'll get me through. It gets me to sort of 8 in the evening. And that's using it quite heavily, that's doing quite a lot of things with it. But for some reason it's been on the charger all day and it seems to have drained really quickly. But I'll see if I can find a link to this story that shows, it shows a screenshot of the 1.26 firmware and the 1.27 firmware. And the 1.26 one is draining like buggery. So I really like the hardware, I like the phone, I like the sense. But I'm always thinking, is this using more internet than TouchWiz? I know TouchWiz is the most boring looking skin on a phone. I hated it at first. I wanted vanilla Android, but I've grown quite attached to TouchWiz. So I think what might possibly happen when the Galaxy S3 comes out, if I'm still not convinced with the little quirks that I've got with this baby, I might go for the S3. If I'd got these both brand new from the start, I think I'd be taken with this. You're taken with it straight away, the sort of build quality and the look and feel of it immediately is like, ooh, it's quite nice, it looks good, it feels good. And putting it next to the Galaxy, but it probably looks a bit sexier, but I think the functionality and the battery life and the ease of use and the fact that you get notification in the background when you're videoing on the Galaxy, it doesn't interrupt you. It's a lot more, feels a lot more polished. This feels, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, in my opinionated view, it feels a little bit rushed out, this. I think a couple of firmware updates should probably sort it. And I'll do another mini review of it, because it's just been like 1 week. And I'm sometimes like, oh, I hate you. Another time thinking, oh, this is really cool. So I'm a little bit Jekyll and Hyde at the minute. The camera, obviously, is superb for taking pictures. It's superb for video as well, but it's just that interruption thing. I just want to be able to put it on silent, video, and not worry about getting notifications. So that's a mini overall review of more so the bad points with it, and I'll do another one in a couple of weeks and see if I've changed my mind, because I might be swapping it for the Galaxy S3. Who knows? Thanks for watching this. I'll speak to you lot later. Yes, all 2 of you. It's that old chestnut again. Hey, goodbye.